نادي عليا مظهر العجائب.
I think we will get started now. So again, to everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Nahj al-Balagha book club. This is the first session, not just the first session for you guys, but it's just the first session of the entire series. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for expressing your willingness and your desire that you want to learn about the words of Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, who's your Imam. The purpose of this book club is that every week we'll gather and we will try to learn a little bit more about Imam Ali alayhi salam, his words and what he has said, in such a way that he becomes useful to your life. Okay. Something we forget is that Imam Ali alayhi salam is not just someone who he's for the Majlis. Maybe you just hear his name in Majlises. Maybe you hear that people are telling you things about him, but you never actually read his words or found out what kind of person he is. Well, that's what this session is for. It is that every week we can build a relationship to know what kind of person is my Imam, because he's your Imam just like he's everyone else's. And you should have a relationship to him where you know him. So what I will do is I'll quickly go through the structure of what we're going to be discussing and a few house rules. Now, the first thing is, I would like to talk to you because the whole point of this space is we can discuss and we can learn about each other. So if any of you would like, you can turn your video on so that we can have a conversation, we can talk to each other, or you can unmute yourself. That's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. You can use the chat, but please consider it because then I can look at you, we can talk to each other and we can actually have a real conversation. But that's up to you. So what I will do is I'll go through the names and then we'll see who we have in this session. And I will send my salam to you. So first of all, on the list, we have Inshal. Inshal, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Your name is Inshal, yeah?
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining. And how old are you?
13.
13. Thank you, brother. Good to have you here. Next, we have Maria. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing, Maria? Are you okay?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. May I ask your age?
32.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. And if you've got any children, anyone with you, please, this session is designed for children. So make sure they're listening, inshallah.
Yeah, they're here with me.
Super. And how old are the kids? I didn't mean to ask you. I meant for the kids. How old are the kids?
Yeah.
I'm 8. I'm 4. He's 3. The younger
Amazing.
one is 3.
And what are your names?
My name is Fadil. The younger one is Jawad.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Jawad. Lovely to have you guys here. And thank you, Sister Maria, as well, for answering me. Then we have someone called AA. I don't know who you are, but salam alaikum, AA.
Wa alaikum salam.
Is your name AA?
No, it's Azan.
Azan, nice to have you, brother. Thank you so much for coming. And how old are you?
14.
Super. Well done. And where are you from, by the way? Where are you from?
From London.
From London. Nice one. Good to have you there, brother. So we have Insha, we had Maria. Shazeb, salam alaikum.
Welcome.
How are you doing, brother? You okay?
I'm good. Are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. Whereabouts are you dialing in from at the moment? Where are you?
Slow.
Slough. Well, nice to have you, brother, and inshallah, hope these sessions are useful for you. I'm going to guess you're in 13 to 17. You're in the age bracket, yeah?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, bro. Thank you so much for showing up. Then we have Arshal. Arshal, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing, brother? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited for today's session. I saw you chatting earlier in the chat. Where are you from? Whereabouts are you coming from?
Todmorden.
From where?
Todmorden.
Morden?
Todmorden, yeah. It's a town. Yeah.
That's a cool town. Whereabouts is it, Todmorden?
It's like half an hour away from Bradford.
Amazing. Well, send my regards to all of the people of Todmorden, and thank you for representing them and being in here in today's book club.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, brother.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wasi, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you doing, Wasi? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
Well, is this Wasi from South London?
Yeah, from London.
Thank you so much, brother. Good to have you in today's book club. Thank you so much. Then we have Zain. Zain, salam alaikum. Zain, are you there?
He said something in chat.
Oh, let me see. Alaikum salam, mic breaks. No worries then, that's fine. Do not have your mic ready, but if you have any thoughts, you can always use them in the chat. Is that okay, Zen? Make sure you use it so that I can see what you've got to say. And also to everyone, have I missed anyone? Now is the time to tell me, did I miss anybody at all? I think I said hi to everyone. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, and me, I'm Abbas. You can call me Abbas. Abbas Pai, it's fine. Abbas, I'm pretty much not that much older than you guys, so it's perfectly fine. And I'll be leading these discussions, which are only going to go on from now for the next 10 weeks, inshallah. Okay, you guys have signed up to the Nahj al-Balagha book club. I'm going to guess some of you would have seen the poster and think, this is cool, I want to join and learn about my Imam. But most of you, your parents or someone said to you, this is good for you. I want you to learn about these words. Sit down, Monday, 7:30, you're doing this. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. However, the reasons are that you're here, you are here. And the one who you're here for is your Imam, okay? Imam Ali alayhi salam. And Nahj al-Balagha is the name of a book compiled, which means it was put together, containing the words of the Imam, his sermons, the speeches he gave, the letters that he wrote, and lots of short sayings that have all been put together in one book. And it's an amazing book. The reason why I say that is because your Imam is living with you. When you're going through something difficult, you have your Imam who understands you and who can help you. And one of the best things about this book is that it collects so many useful things that people don't even think the Imam spoke about, but they did. So things like being a good friend, things like looking after your environment, things like being fair and honest with people, and things like praying and worshiping Allah and all the other stuff. Things like just being kind and being brave and being strong and being loving. All these things come from Imam Ali alayhi salam's words. So what I'm hoping is over the next few sessions, we can start to know what kind of person the Imam is because we're hearing his words. If I give you an example, imagine one day you go to sleep and you see your Imam in a dream. He comes and he talks to you. How amazing would that be? And imagine he's telling you that you should do something or be something. That would be a great thing to have in your life. But you don't need the Imam to come to you in a dream for him to communicate with you. He's communicating with you in his words and his sayings. And it's up to us to try and learn from him by going to his book. However, I do get that reading can be difficult, especially if you've got a really big book. So what I've done is I've broken down the sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam in a really easy way for us to understand. Okay? What I would also like is that if I say to you guys, here's a mission for you, that until the next session, I need you to go and read this, or I need you to try and think about this, do it. Because then next time when you come for next Monday, you'd have thought about what did my Imam actually mean when he said that? What was he trying to say to me? Why did he say these words and not those words? And it will help you to develop an understanding of him. All right. Before we go forward, I'd like to ask all of you a question. And I would like you to, if you can unmute yourself and you can answer. And the question is this. When you think of Imam Ali alayhi salam, your Mawla, your Imam, right? You may have heard loads of stories about him. You may have heard different hadith. It may be anything. What is your favorite thing about Imam Ali? If you think about what you've learned about him and who he is, maybe in madrasa or your parents have told you or majlis or whatever, but what is something in your life where you think this is such a cool thing that Imam Ali has done or that he knows? What would you say is your favorite thing about Imam Ali alayhi salam? Anyone got any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Arsal.
So, like, he's a very positive person and he's very strong and he knows what's right and he knows what's best for us and him. And he cares about nobody else but family in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's just a very positive and strong person. He's not scared of anyone but Allah.
This is a great point. Thank you for starting the discussion. He's positive. Imam Ali alayhi salam is here to make you feel good. Sometimes people talk about religion and they say, you got to do this, you got to do that. And you feel like, do I have to do all these things? Imam Ali says, I want to do these things. And he gives us loads of really good reasons. For example, prayer, namaz. Some of you guys are an age now where you're starting to pray more regularly or you're being told a lot, hey, why have you not prayed and all these things? Imam Ali alayhi salam doesn't just tell you, hey, you should pray. He explains to you what happens when you pray. He says to you that when you pray, you start tasting the sweetness of ibadah, of worship, and it makes you feel good and you feel powerful. And just like Brother Arshad said, that is a very positive way to live. So that's a great thing to start. Your favorite thing about Imam Ali alayhi salam is that he's positive. That is a great point. Anyone else want to add anything about his life? What is it about Imam Ali alayhi salam that you like or that is your favorite?
Can I add something?
Go ahead, Fazil.
What I would like to add is that the Imam had kindness even towards his killers. When the chains of his killer were tied, he asked that the chains to be loosened, so that he doesn't have a hard life in his prison. His shackle, even though he's going to have a hard life even though he's in prison, the shackles will be loosened and they're not going to be too tight on him. That the blood can't circulate even to his hand.
Exactly. That's beautiful. And let me ask you a question. If Imam Ali alayhi salam is this kind to his enemies, imagine how kind he is to his friends and to those he loves, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And so that is why, that's a really good point, Fazil. If he's that kind and he cares about the blood flow of his enemies and the change they're making, he's given us so much advice to those who love him and those who want to be close to him. And there's a whole book compiled with all of these advices that he has. So we should learn them, right? That is a very, very beautiful point. And another thing you mentioned is the death of Imam Ali alayhi salam, okay? So he died around about 40 years after Hijrah. And then, of course, many things happened after. But before he died, he went through so many different things in his life. Does anyone know about something Imam Ali alayhi salam did during his life, or something which he went through, which you can remember from the life of Imam Ali alayhi salam? For example, where was he born? Come on, everyone does praise to this place as their qibla. You must know where the Imam was born.
In Mecca.
In Mecca, exactly, inshallah. And where in Mecca? Who knows the exact spot in Mecca where he was born?
In the Kaaba.
In the Kaaba. Thank you, Fazil. Thank you, Wasi, as well. In the Kaaba. So that's the first thing. He went through a life where he's growing up in Mecca around people who are not Muslim. And there was a time when the only people who actually believed in Allah, who were Muslims at that time, was the Holy Prophet, Imam Ali, Bibi Khadija, Hazrat Hamza. Very few people. Like, there weren't that many Muslims. And then, of course, something happened when the Muslims migrated from Mecca to a brand new city. Who knows what that new city was called, where they all migrated?
Medina.
Thank you, Fazil. Medina. So now they've gone to Medina, and now they are making a new society, a whole new community. They're not living in fear anymore. They're building a whole new community. They have their own mosque, they have their own banking system, they have their own houses where they worship Allah, and they're free. And Imam Ali is living all through then in Medina. But then you have loads of battles because the enemy are seeing that we don't want Islam to flourish. And so many battles happen in which they are attacking the Muslims. Can anyone name any of the famous battles you remember from the life of the Imam?
Two of them that I remember are Uhud and Badr.
Uhud and Badr, very good, the two earlier ones. Anyone remember any other battles in addition to them? We've got Uhud, we've got Badr, we've got Khandaq, we've got Khaybar, if you remember. And then, so these are all battles where they're trying to attack the Muslims. And in all of the battles, the hero of the Muslims is Imam Ali alayhi salam. He's the one. Every time there's an issue or a problem or the enemy are coming towards the Prophet or they're going to lose, the flag of Ali ibn Abi Talib is always seen and he protects the Muslims every single time that he's alive. But also, while he's this strong warrior and he's this brave man, he's also a person who's very gentle and very kind, and his heart is very soft. You might think that he's this warrior who walks around proudly because he's won all these battles, but no, he feeds orphans from his own hands. He carries goods and gives to people himself. They even say that he wasn't even that strong when it came to his own things, like eating and cutting bread and these things. He got his strength on the battlefield from Allah. Yeah. So he's these two things. On the one hand, he's this brave, strong warrior. On the other hand, he's a kind, soft-hearted, loving father, husband and young man and leader. Then, of course, the Holy Prophet passes away. And we have the tragedy of Bibi Fatima, sallallahu alayha, where she is martyred, and Imam Ali now faces a whole new difficulty. Now, he's surrounded by people who previously were pretending to be friends with him, but now are plotting against him. and he has to be patient, because the whole ummah, the whole Muslims could start fighting after the death of the Prophet. So the Imam is patient, he is calm, he is wise, and he speaks very intelligent and measured things, which are of course compiled in Nahj al-Balagha. And then he becomes the Khalifa, he becomes the leader right at the end of his life. And now he's the one who's giving the laws, and he's the one who's governing the Muslims, and he's in charge. And now we see him in a whole new phase of life where he's issuing orders, he's defending the Muslims from battle, from war. He's able to show us what it's like to be a true leader. And he goes through all these phases, of course, until his death. Anyone can tell us about the death of Imam Ali alayhi salam, how it is he passes away, and what happens which leads to the martyrdom of Imam Ali alayhi salam?
He was struck by a sword.
That's right, inshallah. He was struck by a sword. He was martyred by an enemy called Ibn Muljim. And the reason why he was killed was because Imam Ali alayhi salam had made lots of enemies during the end of his life. The enemies were people who didn't want him to be in power, and they hated Ahl al-Bayt, or they didn't want Ahl al-Bayt to be able to be in power. And so they plotted and schemed and came together to try and take Imam Ali alayhi salam away from his role. They tried killing him on the battlefield, it didn't work. They tried telling lies about him to people, it didn't work. They tried living away and far away from him, it didn't work. So instead, in the end, what did they do? They decided to go to the masjid where he was praying and attack him. And every month of Ramadan, when you guys are in the month of Ramadan, what do you find? You find we do Majlis for Imam Ali alayhi salam. Okay, so that's where we are with the Imam. By the way, yeah, I've got this cool mic so I can hear you and so that I can speak clearly. So that's what happens with the Imam. Fine. Imam has passed away, but his words are still alive and people are still sharing and discussing them. And some scholars are writing them down, some scholars are speaking them because they used to speak a lot in poetry. And soon we come to the life of a scholar called Sharif Radhi. Sharif Radhi lives about 400 years after the death of Imam Ali alayhi salam. A lot of time has passed, but he decides, you know what? I'm going to gather all of these beautiful words of the Imam so that people after me can appreciate it. So he finds lots of sermons, lots of speeches, he puts them together. He finds lots of letters the Imams have written to people. He finds these letters that have been written, he brings them together. And then there's sayings. And then there are these short sayings of the Imam, which we're going to go through later on, which Sharif Radhi thinks these are beautiful sayings and they contain so much weight in them, so much value. He brings them together and he makes this book. This is what the book looks like. My copy, maybe you've got one, but it's all online. And you can literally go through the book and read the words of the Imam. All right. That's how we got this book, and that's the book we have today. Are there any questions about Nahj al-Balagha, about the words of the Imam, about the life of the Imam before we continue? Anyone want to add anything, share anything? Are we good?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam. Is there something you wanted to add, Ashar?
Yes.
What did you want to say? Well, if you can think of something you want to say, Ashar, anytime you can unmute your mic and you can say, because I can't hear you right now, but feel free to talk when you like. Anyone else want to add anything? Someone has written a question, which is, because you can always write in the chat if you feel shy, no worries. What is the special thing about Imam Ali's speech? Was it as good as the Quran? Someone has written. So, question to all of you. Who reads Quran every day? If you read Quran every day, you can unmute and say me.
Look at me.
Me.
Yep. Anyone else? Okay. Who reads Quran in madrasa? Who goes to madrasa?
I have online madrasa.
Good. Anyone else?
Yeah, same.
Same. You guys go for
Me.
online madrasa?
Me.
Sure, good. Okay. When you go to madrasa, when you go online, you find, or if you have in online madrasa or you read Quran, you're reading the book of Allah. Okay? The words of Quran are special. They are better than any other words you're going to find. Okay? There is something extraordinary about Quran because it's the word of Allah. It's much better than my words and your words. Imam Ali alayhi salam's words are somewhere in between the words of Allah and the words of us. They are greater than every human being's words, the words of Ahlul Bayt, but they're not as great as Quran. They're somewhere in between. And that's what the scholars say, Nahj al-Balagha is between the two, between khalq al-makhluq, between the creator and the created. It's somewhere in between. Then you're also going to madrasa. That's what I was asking. When you read Quran, you're reading the words of Allah. When you're reading a storybook or a book from school, you're reading the words of normal people. Imam Ali is in a special place in between the two of them. He's in between the words of Allah and the words of books that you might read in school. Okay, that was a great question. Anyone want to add any other questions before we move on? No, are we good? Okay. Like I said to you before, you can put your video on. In fact, maybe from next week, we'll have video on so that we can see each other and then we can actually talk to each other. Maybe that could be a good idea. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. The next thing I'd like to do with all of you is to think about some of the sayings of Imam Ali alayhi salam from this book of Nahj al-Balagha. And what I will do is a quick activity with all of you. Are you guys ready for an activity? You can put yes in the chat just so I know that you're ready. And then I'll start it. Ready for a quick activity? Zain says yes. Who else is ready? Fazl is yes. Wasi says yes. Anyone else? Ashar, I see you as well. Good. Shazaib's ready as well. I'm liking these numbers. Okay. Ashar, and I'm happy. I've seen enough of you. Let me share my screen and go here. Amazing. Okay. Now, at the moment, because I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the chat right now. So what I will ask you is if you want to share something, you can just unmute your mic and you can speak. What we're going to go now is go through a number of sayings from Nahj al-Balagha, and I'm going to ask you what you think the answer is. Okay? Let's start. What will keep you and your friends close to each other? There's no wrong answer here. Think about it. Think about your friends, people who you're best friends or you're just close to. What keeps you guys close together? Anyone want to say anything? So, Asher, I can't hear you, but I know you're speaking. Could you say it again?
By playing games.
By playing games. Excellent. So one thing that keeps you close to your friends, playing games.
Yeah,
Asher, anything you want to add?
Sticking together.
You stick
So,
together to your friends. Good.
yeah.
And that keeps you together, right?
Yeah.
Good. So playing games, sticking together. Anything else that keeps you together with your friends?
Yeah, I was gonna say trust
When
each
you-
other.
When you trust them. Thank you, Wasi. Fazil?
When you meet regularly.
When you meet regularly. Okay, good. So meeting regularly, playing games, trusting them. These are all useful things which keep you close to your friends. Anyone add anything which you think what else keeps you close to your friend?
Loyalty and respect.
Thank you, Fahim. Loyalty and respect. These are all wonderful qualities. Now, if you have these qualities of loyalty, respect, you play games, you do all these things, and you really value your friend, you should show it. You should let them know that you like them, that you appreciate them. How do you think we can show our friends that we like them? What can we do so that they know that we like playing with them, we respect them, we're loyal? How would you show this to someone?
You could offer your help to them.
Thank you, Wasi. You could offer your help, so being kind to them. Good. Anything else which you show that you like your friend? How would they know? Go on, Arshal.
Yeah, if they're like feeling very like sad and depressed, you could like go on and help them help them and show them that you're not alone, you've got friends. And obviously if you have issues with like family members, you've got us, like you've got friends that can help you. And yeah.
That's lovely. That is lovely. If I was your friend, actually, I would like to be your friend. I would love if I'm down, someone would pick me up like that. So thank you, bro. Ashar, were you going to say something?
By giving good words to them.
Exactly. Good words. Words are so important. Sometimes you need to encourage someone. Sometimes you guys might be feeling down. Maybe you're not feeling that happy and you want someone to just pick you back up. Friends are so important to keep your morale high. Okay. Now, so the question, thank you so guys. What will keep you and your friends close? Imam Ali says something which is actually the heart of what all of you have said. Our Imam says, cheerfulness is the bond of friendship. So the thing that keeps you close to your friends is being cheerful. Cheerful, smiley, happy, just like you mentioned, talking to each other, lifting our spirits up, laughing and smiling when you're playing games, for example, to show that you're loyal, you're trust, you'll spend time together. All these things come back to our behavior. And Imam Ali al-Islam is saying, when you're with your friends, you should be cheerful with them because that is the bond that keeps you together. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. And you guys promise to always be cheerful with your friends?
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds motivating. All right, good. Next point. How is your body a miracle? Who can think about the human body? Think of what you've learned in biology. What makes your body a miracle? What is it about the body that's so special?
The way everything works together.
Good point for him, how it all works together. That is a very true point, how it's been designed. Any other points why your body is a miracle? So we've already got a great point from Fahim that how it all works together. One organ knows what the other organ is doing. One hand is linked to the other hand. The legs walk together in the right way. These are amazing. But how else is your body a miracle?
God made it.
That's right, inshallah. Great point. It's made by Allah. Allah's the one who made it. And so he's the one who knows you so well that the design will be perfect. Great point. Inshallah, were you about to say something? Or Fazil, go ahead.
What I want to say is that how smart your body is.
Why do you feel that?
Because when your brain tells your body to do something, it does it exactly the time that the brain tells it to do it.
That's excellent. So your body, your mind is linked to your body. How amazing is that? In fact, you know, it's actually so amazing. You know, your mind, your actual mind that you're talking about. Where is your mind? You can't touch it. You can't feel it. It's something which Allah created. It doesn't exist in your brain. Your mind is something which is special from Allah, and yet it controls your body. It controls your legs and your hands, even though it's not a physical thing. That itself is a miracle. Good. These are some wonderful points. Anyone want to add anything that they think why the human body is a miracle?
The process and how it grows.
Exactly, Fahim. That's a really good point. You start off as a baby and you end up as an adult or someone who lives to a long age, and the body just keeps changing. Every cell in your body is moving and developing. Good. So these are all some great points, guys. How is your body a miracle? Imam Ali alayhi salam gives some exact examples for why it's so special. Yeah? He says that how wonderful is man that he sees with fat. Your eyes is a lump of fat, really. He talks with a piece of flesh. Your tongue, it's just flesh, but you can talk with it. He hears with a bone. Your ear is actually a bone inside, and he breathes through a hole. So that's a miracle, that you're seeing from basically just fat. You're speaking with just flesh. You're hearing with a bone, which actually makes no sense, but it's true. And you're breathing through a hole. And all these things allow you to perceive the whole world. You can see the world. You can speak to each other. You can hear each other speak. You can breathe and live all through fat, flesh, bone, and a hole. That is a miracle. Who agrees with me?
I agree.
Me too.
Pretty amazing stuff, guys. Okay, so that's a great answer. So you all were answering why it's a miracle, because Allah made it, because it all works together, because it's perfect. And Imam Ali alayhi salam's given you some real life examples that you can always think about, because it's your mouth and your eyes and your ears and your eyes. Okay, next saying. What kind of things pass away quickly from you like clouds? So if you look outside and you see clouds are always passing and they come and they go, 1 second they're here, next second they're gone. If you think to your life, what else comes and goes really quickly? What do we think?
Money, health, worries, and happiness.
Excellent for him. So could you repeat them again, please?
Worries, health, money, and happiness.
Amazing. Those are some really true options. Money, definitely, and happiness also comes and goes. Time, Zen just wrote in the chat, time comes and goes really quickly as well. So that's true. These are all things that 1 second you have them, if you don't appreciate them, they're gone. Anything else? Anyone else thinks that if you get it, it just goes away really quickly?
Life and success.
Life and success. So when you have life, the chance to live, a person could pass away and they could die really quickly. Maybe friends or family, especially with everything we've gone through, it can be really quick. So it passes away like clouds. That's a good point. And happiness, like you mentioned, sometimes you might feel happy now, but something might happen and you feel sad again about it. I can mention a story later about how to not feel sad about things. But true, that is a very good point. Anyone want to add anything before we look at what Imam Ali alayhi salam says? Okay, so the Imam, when thinking about what kind of things pass away quickly, he says, opportunity. Opportunity passes away like the clouds, therefore make use of good opportunities. So if you have life, that's an opportunity for you. If you have money and wealth, that's an opportunity for you. If you've got time in your life, these are all opportunities. And an opportunity is when you have something and you can do something with it. So think of all the stuff you can do right now in your life. These are all opportunities you have. But remember, Imam Ali Islam says, it passes away like a cloud. It passes quickly. And just when you think you have it, it's gone ahead. So make use of the good opportunity you have. So are you guys going to make sure that if you have an opportunity, you're going to use it and you're going to use it well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
Actually as well. Good, good. Next question, or actually these are discussion points. Which one do you think does Allah like more? If you do a good deed, but it turns you arrogant, or if you do a sin, but it makes you sad and repentant. Which one do you think Allah likes more, A or B?
B.
Wasi, you
B.
think B. You think Allah likes it if you
B.
do a sin, but it makes you sad. Why?
Because then you start being ashamed of yourself, and Allah becomes happy when you're ashamed of yourself after you have done a sin.
That's a good point. Allah wants you to feel that shame, feel that sadness when you do something wrong. Why is that so good? That it can be a good thing, that you feel that regret.
That you will not do the same thing again.
Good, so that you will change your ways. Wasi, you're the one who made the point earlier. Do you agree anything that you want to add about why Allah might like B more than A?
Yes, I was gonna say sin helps you learn from your past mistakes.
True, because the truth is all of you, and there's 11 people in this chat, I'm one of them. We're all going to make mistakes. We've made mistakes in life and it's going to happen because it's part of being a human being. It's quite normal to make mistakes. None of us are perfect, okay? But it's not about making mistakes. It is regretting your mistakes and not making them again. Or it's about trying not to make that mistake again. It's about realizing that, you know what, I did something wrong. If B is the answer, Allah wants you to realize that you did something wrong, but Allah will always love you. So turn back to Him. Give Allah a chance because He wants you to change your ways. If the answer is A, if you do a good deed, but it makes you arrogant, what's wrong with this? You're doing a good deed. You're doing your namaz, you're praying, you're doing fasting. What's the problem if you do a good deed, but it makes you arrogant? Haven't you done a good deed and you get thawab for it?
Then you're not doing the good deed for yourself. I mean, you're doing the good deed for yourself and not for Allah.
Good point, Wasi. Who is it for? Is it for you or for Allah? Very good perspective. Anyone want to add anything about why a good deed that makes you arrogant is so bad? What's wrong with that?
It is that for one example, like that Shaitan was first a good person. He used to do really good deeds, and then when he went into heaven,
Exactly. That's a great point.
he didn't bow down to Prophet Adam, so then he turned bad.
Exactly. So with Shaitan, he was doing namaz, he was praying, doing salat, which is a great thing. But look, it made him arrogant. He didn't listen to Allah, and Allah says, bow down to Adam. That's a really good point that you've made. That Shaitan is an example of A. So I think we have an agreement. Does anyone here think that the answer is A?
No.
You guys
No.
speak for the group. Okay, so am I assume that you think it's B?
Yes, I think it's B.
Mm.
Yes.
Fazil and Ashur, you guys are speaking for the group. Let's see if you're right. B. Imam alayhi salam says that the sin which makes you sad and repentant is more liked by Allah than the good deed which turns you arrogant. Imam alayhi salam says this. So what you're saying, how you're feeling, Imam, is you are agreeing with the Imam, because he says Allah likes it more when you feel sad after a sin than doing some good deed that makes you arrogant. So what this means is, remember, Imam alayhi salam is living at a time when people are trying to do all these good deeds. They're praying a lot, they're reading Quran a lot, they're trying to narrate a hadith, but when it comes down to it, they're not following the Imam of their time. They're not even listening to the Imam when he's talking. So what was the point of all of those good deeds? Look at the Battle of Karbala, Battle of Ashura, on the day of Ashura at Karbala. So many people who fought against Imam Hussein, they were praying, they were fasting, they were doing good deeds, they were doing all of these stuff, but they were fighting against Imam Hussein. So it's not enough just to do good deeds. You have to use those good deeds, understand who it's for, and it's for Allah. Great, you guys are doing really well. Let's go to the next one. This is the last question. What do you want people to think when they remember you? This is the general question. When you think about people who know you, if they think of your name, okay, I'm thinking of Shazeb, I'm thinking of Wasim, I'm thinking of Zen. When they think of you, what do you want them to think about you?
That you're a good person and you've done good for other people.
Great for him. They should think that you're a good person and you were kind. Ashar, what do you think?
That they're very supportive and like they're very good people to be around.
You think that you're supportive, good. Ashar, you were saying something as well?
That they're loving and caring.
Lovely. They should think you're loving, you're caring, you're supportive. These are all really nice ways. And inshallah, you guys are doing good deeds and people are thinking of you like this. Anyone else, if you really stop for a second and think that your family, your friends, people at school, whoever knows you, when you're not there and they think of you, what do they think about? What should they think about? What kind of things would you like them to say about you? Anyone got any thoughts on this before we move on?
You would want them to remember you with goodness.
Remember you with goodness. Good. Shall we see what the Imam has to say about this one, about what people should think about you? Islam says, meet people in such a manner that if you die, they should cry for you. And if you live, they should long for you. That's how you should be. That if you're alive, they should wish to be around you. I long for that person. Long for you means they want to be around you. They wish to be around you. And die, if you were to pass away, they'll cry about you. How many times have you guys been to funerals or seen where people have passed away? People are really sad because they miss them. They want to be around them. That means that person lived in such a way that people will cry for them if they're gone. But that's not everything. You should live in such a way that even when you're alive, they want to be around you. They long for you. Maybe you're kind. Maybe you're loving. Maybe you have good akhlaq, good respect. Whatever good deed you're doing, they miss you. And just like that, think of your mind, of your friends. You should think them like this, that if anything was to happen to them, I'd be so sad if something happened to my friend. But also, I miss my friend. They are nice. They have good akhlaq. They are respectful to me. They are kind to me. My family members, I love them because they remind me of my Imam. Think of why you miss them. Okay? That was the last one. We have more questions next week. Let's stop the share. Super. Okay. Great participation, guys. We now come to the end of the session. Before we end, did anyone have any questions about anything we spoke about today? About Imam Ali Islam, about these ahadith? Any questions at all? Or not just questions, if you want to share something or give your opinion about something?
How did Shaitan get to hell?
How did Shaitan get to hell? Is that the question?
Yes.
Well, Shaitan right now is not in hell yet. Shaitan is whispering to all of the people to try and misguide them. In the end, maybe he will go to hell for the bad deeds, but he will take a lot of people with him who he's been telling them to do bad things. But of course, me and you and everyone needs to not listen to that voice. So you know when you have that voice telling you do something bad or be rude to someone or don't have good manners with someone, that voice that we hear of shaitan, we have to say no to it. My Imam alayhi salam has taught me that this word and all of its attractions, he says, cut it away from you. Don't make it part of you. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to shaitan. Yeah, so that's what the Imam wants from you. He wants you to go to heaven. And shaitan is trying really hard to take everyone with him to hell. But of course, on the day of judgment, we will see what happens to him. Any questions anyone else had?
Thank you for the answer.
No problem, Asher. Any other questions anyone had? Okay, next week, here's what I think. I'm thinking let's have videos on so that we can talk to each other, or we don't have to do it. Anyone have any opinion of that? Maybe so then I can see you and we can chat to each other, or would you rather we just have mic? What do we think? Don't be shy, give your opinion. If you say let's just do mic, that's fine, but I want to hear from you. That means that we can do what we like. Usher is fine with cameras. Okay, well, we'll see. Next week, I'll give you the option. It's up to you. You don't have to, but I'll give you the option. Here's what you all have to do before next Monday, when I'm going to see you again at this time for this session. You have a mission, okay? Your mission, if you choose to accept or not, is to find another saying of Imam Ali alayhi salam, not one of the ones we've mentioned. You've got to find a brand new one and try and think about what it means. You can go to Nahj al-Balagha, you can ask a Maulana, you can ask your parents, you can go through your madrasa notes, you can do whatever, but it's got to be a brand new, a different one that we did not discuss today. A new saying from Imam Ali. It doesn't have to be in Nahj al-Balagha, but that's a really easy place to look. And then next week, I will ask you, what saying did you find? Okay. Asher Kazmi, are you going to do that for Monday? Asher? Fahim? Fazil, Inshal, Shuzaib, you guys, you going to do it for next Monday?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to be doing it for next
Amazing.
Monday.
Super. Wasi, Arshal, Zen, the rest of you, are you going to also be doing this for next Monday?
Yeah.
Sounds good. I look forward to that. And if you have any issues or questions, the people who sent you the links to get on today, they can easily make contact with us and send us feedback or questions. But if not, thank you so much. Take care, inshallah. I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Thank you, everyone. Khuda Hafiz. Take care.
Khuda Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Well done,
Allah
everyone.
Hafiz.
Allah
Hafiz. Alaykum salam.
Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Bye-bye.
بولايتك يا علي يا علي يا علي